Okay, so part 2 in the series of how to put your socks on more easily is going to be a little bit more mellow. Part 2 is normally strength and things like that, but we covered a little bit of that in part 1. So I'm going to be using a couple of toys. I will use a foam roller and a tennis ball, rubber ball, anything you've got that's really firm. So no stress balls, you won't get much out of them. What we really want is something that's going to loosen up a couple of tissues, some self-massage, help those tissues to relax. Anyway, so long foam roller, we have these at Lawn and Apollo Bay. If you need one, get in touch and we can get one to you. What we're going to do is start off with this because it actually feels quite good once you get used to it. It's an investment. Give it 2 weeks. Do it every day for a few minutes. And then by the end of the 2 weeks, you'll really enjoy it and you'll look forward to it. So disable your dog if you just put them on their back and then you rub their belly. They're not much of a nuisance, but it's hard to film at the same time. So you can move them over to the other side of the rug and then they take a couple of minutes to wriggle back. So it's same thing. Starting on your front with a roller between your knees and your hips, and you're just rolling up and back on the front of your thighs. Having your feet off the ground, just relaxing as much as you can. So using your arms just to rock forwards and backwards, below your hips and above your knees. So this one we want to do about 20 times. If you are new to using a foam roller, just ease into it. Do as many as you can until you've had enough and then move on to the next one. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to be rolling on the outside of one leg. So you've got one forearm on the ground to take some weight, your top hand, and then your top leg, you just rest on top of the roller. It gets you in a really nice position. So just rolling up and down. If this doesn't feel very good, you're not the only one. This is most people's least favorite exercise, but it absolutely does get better with a little practice. Again, if it's not very nice, just do as many as you can tolerate and it'll improve over time. No need to leave bruises. Let's do the other leg. So forearm down, hand down, other leg on top of the roller. And you're just rolling up and back as many times as you can. If you find that there's anywhere particularly unpleasant, you might want to spend a little bit more time there or avoid that area altogether. See how it feels. Okay, so that's our friend the roller. A couple of really nice exercises when you get used to them. So next, that was just to take some pressure off the front and the side. We're going to keep going with the side. So our little ball, you put on the ground, and then you are just underneath that ridge of pelvic bone or above your hip bone. So not on any bones, you won't do it, it won't feel very good. Outside of your hip, and you're just trying to relax onto it. So you can take as much pressure as you want with your hands. Try not to tense that leg because it won't help. You need those muscles to relax. You can move around a little bit. It's different to the roller where you keep moving. With the ball, you're looking for the most unpleasant spot, and then you try and hold that for 1 minute. So 1 minute is quite important. If you cannot hold it for 1 minute, it's too much pressure and you can tap out. Otherwise you will leave bruises and that's not the idea. So if that's the case, you can start against a wall or elsewhere just until you get used to it. So you're just gently resting for about 1 minute And then we're going to start working our way forwards. So slightly further forwards. And making sure that leg is relaxed, the hip that you're rolling on, until you find somewhere else that's particularly unpleasant. And then you get to hold that for 1 minute. So you're now looking for somewhere that doesn't feel very good. Fun game. You can really relax down on the ground. Anything you can to ease onto that sore, that delicate, tender point. And then when you're ready, we'll move around a little bit further. She's back. And then one more time, a little bit further again. And now we're into the kind of front side of the hip. Just in those soft tissues. Thank you, Joe. That's very nice. Okay, other side. Hey, 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 hey. So, on the outside of our hip, in the soft, fleshy part, no bony parts, and just relaxing onto it. Looking for somewhere that's not very nice. And when you find that spot, you just relax. And then you're going to move a little bit further towards the front of your hip and move the dog a little bit further away from you. Just to give you a little bit of a safety buffer. Okay. Laying down, trying to relax onto slightly further forwards on the front of your hip. Hey, that's Great Ocean Roadhouse property, buddy. I've got a good spot there. When you're ready, a little bit further forward again. And one more time, a little bit further forwards. Now we're on the front side of our hip. Okay, we're going to go back to the other leg. It's pretty much just massage, makes you feel good. So, still with the ball, this time you're going to put it on the outside back of your hip, on your butt, and you support your weight with both legs, and then you just let the side that you're on, the knee, fall out to the side. And again, you roll around a little bit, looking for somewhere that's a bit tender. Hey, 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 hey. Little nibbler. And just relax as best you can. If this is too tender, start against the wall. Absolutely fine. And you're just gently working around those hip muscles. Looking for one tender point, holding on for about a minute. And then moving a little bit further around to a slightly different point. And again, holding that for about a minute. You'll find there's all sorts of areas you can explore, just not on the bony bits, all on the soft, fleshy bits. Okay, other leg. So there's some big muscles on your butt, and those are the ones we're going to roll around on gently until you find somewhere that's particularly in need of some attention. When you find a spot, you just relax onto it for about a minute. And you can look for another spot, hang out there for another minute. Last 30 seconds, finding one more spot. Okay, you can spend all night looking for different areas you can self-release, self-manage, relax, using anything that you have. Tennis balls can be a little bit slippery. I wrap a bit of sports tape around them and that works pretty well. So a foam roller and a little massage ball can do a lot for your hips. So then you get to retest and see how close you can get your knee to your chest. Regardless, it makes you feel a whole lot better. So some really simple self-massage techniques to relax some key muscles to help us to get our socks on more easily. See you next time.